Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be taking a look at one of the latest additions to our beta version of Command Modern Operations, and that is the Chainsaw Patrol method. Now what is the Chainsaw Patrol method? Well, it took me a little bit of digging and kind of diving around, and I'm familiar with it as an air warfare technique, but the short version, if I borrow this lovely Reddit post right here, is you're going to design it so that you have aircraft always going away from the carrier, and you have aircraft that are always coming back to do things like getting refueling from the carrier. So for traditional combat air patrol, basically you're going to do a big old donut here, keeping an eye on for things. The idea with this one is we're going to extend the range to go all the way out, get some gas, go back out, get some gas, kind of a thing like that, basically go back and forth. Now the interesting thing is this is something we've been able to do for a while if you wanted to do specific types of missions. You could basically build a point here, point here, point here, point here, point here, point here, and it would be quite a bit of points, to say the least. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to recreate it using our new features built into this particular beta version. So let's go ahead and pause the party. A couple different things I need to do. The first thing is I need to get an AWACS because I know there's a lot of trouble in this ocean out here. And the least of our worries, of course, is going to be submarines. I would know because I didn't add any. But let's go ahead and add our handy dandy AWACS first. We'll do that one immediately. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to set these to be a fixed bearing to our little carrier battle group. The reason I'm doing that is I want them to follow the carrier as the carrier moves. So we'll call it AWACS spot. Keep it nice and simple. Press my F11 key. There's my AWACS. I'm tossing them right there. Of course, you have to add the mission first. AWACS looking around. Let's see, we'll set that to support. Looks groovy. Go ahead and drop that one down. Awesome. So now at least we have AWACS support to kind of keep an eye on things around us. Again, we're a very, very tiny carrier battle group here, but for the purposes of what we're doing, this will work just fine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the chainsaw mission. Now, I've done a bunch of different reading on this and try to find like what's kind of the optimum position and angles and all that other stuff. And again, the short version is it all depends. If you have aircraft which are very, very heavily loaded with weapons, or the short range, I'm looking at you, F-35, it's going to be a very challenging activity to try to do. So normally what they talk about is going out to about 1,000 miles for their combat air patrol here. And again, that would be something like this line, which is going to take us right past Nova Scotia here into basically middle of the North Atlantic. As you can see, this is a very, very, very long chainsaw arm here. It's so long, as a matter of fact, that depending on what aircraft we have, we're probably going to have to stop for gas about halfway up the arc, which means we're never really going to get there. That doesn't work very well for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that. I'm going to go down to about 500 miles here. So I'm going to go ahead and create my first waypoint. That's going to be the top of the chainsaw here. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself another waypoint. If you can't see, I'm doing 135 degrees here at about 500 miles. Delightful. I'll go ahead and dial that in. Now, these are going to be my chainsaw waypoints. It doesn't mean necessarily that I'm going to go there and come right back. As a matter of fact, when I fiddle with this quite a bit, I've discovered that they tend to kind of zigzag all over the place, which isn't a bad thing. And you'll see exactly what I mean. So let's go ahead and set this to a rotating bearing on our carrier battle group, which means they're going to follow us around. And everything's looking pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and press our Control F11 here. We're going to go ahead and set ourselves up with a mission, even with a chainsaw. Good luck knowing what that's from. You will know. But anyway, let's go take a look. Now, we're going to be doing a regular AAW patrol here. Patrol, AAW patrol, active, sounds good to me. And I have F-14D Tomcats. Of course, these are hypothetical ones, but too bad. So I'm going to go toss them in here. And one of the interesting things we can do here is we can actually grab these aircraft that are for refueling purposes and add them directly to the mission. Do not do that. Even though it will work initially, when these aircraft run low on fuel, what's going to happen is they're going to return to base, leaving these guys with no options, and they're going to fall right out of the sky. You will know it the first 5 times you do it, especially when you lose 30 F-35s because they went swimming because you didn't think about that. Instead, what I would actually recommend do is your refueling track should be somewhere in the middle. And ideally what we would do is we try to design a refueling track so it has some air-to-air cover. Now, normally what you would do is, if you do something like this, like put your refueling track right here, yeah, you're going to be able to take advantage of the fact that people can stop by the mission to get some gas. But the reality is, unless you put a mission around it to protect that refueling track, it's going to get attacked. So keep in mind, I'm doing a bad job of this. I'm just, like I said, just giving you an idea of some of the complexity of these missions. There we go. So this is going to be my refueling point right there. I'm going to set that to be a rotating reference point as well. I want to move with the carrier group. If I was a smarter person, I'd rename this, Control R, refueling point. That looks good to me. I like that. I'm going to press Control F11. We're going to go ahead and set this to a regular old support mission. Looks good, looks good. Press okie doke. Let's grab our refueling aircraft and toss them in there. I've grabbed both varieties. Of course, modern refueling would be like an MQ-25 or something like that. But I should probably give this a name. Refuel stuff. Very specific. All right, everything's good. Our chainsaw is good to go. Our AWACS looking around is good. Looking around. No, it's not that song. One of the things I do need to do, though, is I need to tell them to actually turn their radars on. Otherwise, our AWACS is going to be pretty darn pointless. And again, the F-35, if we were using that, is a fabulous aircraft for like doing that kind of work. But we're dealing with F-14s here, so we got to kind of roll with it. All right, let's see what happens. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have a lot of aircraft launched off this deck in a very, very, very short period of time. As a matter of fact, I'll speed up time because this is some really long distances we're dealing with here. This is not normal. Actually, for carriers, it probably is normal. All right, let's go take a look at all the shenanigans we just caused here so you can get a feel for what's going on. So we have lactose number 2. Don't be intolerant or you get no gas. Actually, it's a radar. So this guy, of course, he's our F-14 because reasons. And there's the other one. And what you're going to observe about these F-14s is one of the groups of F-14s is going to be proceeding to this point, and you're going to notice a different group of F-14s. Instead of going to this point, they're going to chainsaw outwards, do a power donut, and they're going to come back in this direction. Now, the crazy thing here is if I grab a Flight Brave right here, I'll go ahead and speed up time a little bit so you can kind of see them in action. And you can see our glorious limited view of these F-14s. And again, he's going to turn, he's going to start heading this way while the other one starts heading up this way. As a matter of fact, you can actually see his desired point just by clicking on it just like that. There goes my K6Ds. The nice thing about those, of course, is they'll help us out a little bit as far as fuel goes. Let's speed up time a little bit. Uh-oh, we've got something. You can see this one got away from the ship, and he's automatically bringing himself over to this point. Remember, the concept of the chainsaw is to have always somebody going out and always have somebody coming back. So we'll go ahead and speed up time a little bit. Looks like we're having a little bit of a party here. And there we go. F-14's doing the F-14 thing. You can see this new group is coming out. You can see they're stopping to go get some gas. There they go. Remember, I set up a nice little refueling track there. Oh, we ran into some trouble. They went for my refuelers. I knew they'd go for my refuelers. They always do. And of course, that should take care of that pretty efficiently. Nice. Everybody gets their gas. They're going to continue on their little mission. Oh, we got shenanigans. We got shenanigans. Nice. You can see again, there goes that one going all the way down south. You can see after they get gas, they're doing this big long line. Now, if I was a much, much smarter and less lazy individual, I would have set the refueling tracks on the main chainsaw arms here. That's going to give us a little bit better reach. But you can see how they're creating that continuous coverage back and forth. So what I'll do now is that we've obliterated most of the opponents, is you can see very clearly how they're alternating between those points, and they're also alternating directly between the carrier itself. There they go. Oh, more trouble, more trouble, more trouble. We caused you to abort. Go home. I don't know why Canada's shooting at us today. It must have been something we said. All right. Yep. See how he's going out? They're going to do their cap. They're going to turn around. They go out. They turn around. They go out, turn around, just like that. And that's where that chainsaw concept goes through, like you saw in that little image that we saw a little bit earlier on. Now, one of the fun things about chainsaws, and I'll zoom out a little bit here, we've got 5 hours to go on our mission to give you an idea of how good our continuous coverage is the fact that we're always spending some time running away and some time coming back. If you time this well and you have enough aircraft on the mission, the great thing you've got going on here, I told you we run out of time, is the fact that you always have somebody's covered. Again, it's very difficult to get between this on a well-timed period. Of course, we got no points. Losses and expenditures, we got 18 Sukhoi 35s. That makes me feel pretty good. And a loss of 8 F-14Ds. Now, one of the things you should probably investigate here is if I actually open this one up, how many of these ran out of gas? That one ran out of gas. 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 That one exploded. That one ran out of gas. So every single one of 7 of our casualties were fuel. 1 of our casualty was due to air-to-air combat, which just goes to show you how challenging this can be. And again, one of the things that differentiates this between a regular mission like this is that little zigzag it does between. Enjoy.